inflation declined in Europe. Oh, it was down to like 9.7% from 10 point something. What are you kidding me? Oh, and most of it went down because of low energy prices, but all the other things are going way up. So we have an inflation floor that just keeps getting higher and higher. So if the wars escalate, oil prices go up, it will be that will be what ignites the crash. Higher oil prices. I'd say 1800 is a pretty good bottom. 1800, 1750. Absolutely. We don't see it going down deep. And this can be the year when gold really, really takes off to a much higher extent, well over 2,000. It could even go into the 2,500 numbers. Yeah, it could definitely happen. If again, we can't. People used to call me a futurist. I'm not a futurist. There are too many wild cards, whether they're man-made or made by humans. You only could do the trends where you see what the current events are that are forming the future trends. So if the current events that are forming future trends continue to escalate into war in Ukraine, you can see, and the Middle East, yes, gold goes through the roof. Oh, and by the way, I talked about a false flag event. Let's go back a couple of months ago. All of a sudden, Russian missile hits Poland, 2 dead. Dun, 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 NATO's going to unite. Remember that? Yeah, but you see how it popped it all up? And that's the kind of thing that they do. And so that's what we're saying, a false flag or a real event. So the people will do it immediately. So again, to me, gold, as I say, GC's 3Gs, Gerald Celente's 3Gs, guns, gold, and a getaway plan. But anyway, anything can happen. And to me, gold is the number one safe haven asset. Yeah. Nuclear Armageddon, I could care less what it does.
Sure. I mean, exactly.
I don't know. But the person who said $5,000 and coming to that, it would be terrible. I agree. Again, I'm pushing for peace. Peace is prohibited. You're not allowed to talk about peace. It's not talked about at all in the media. And when you talked about peace, all they talk about is no, we're going to do more and more and more. So to me, that the gentleman or woman who said that gold at $5,000 an ounce, you're not even going to want to own it, I agree. It's down. I mean, looking at the emerging markets, they're submerging really deeply. They have all this debt. A lot of it's dollar-based. And the dollar is still much stronger than it was before. And they're going to go down really hard. And the damage done by the COVID war is incalculable. Look, one of our top trends is office building bust. You're looking at office occupancy rate, and you could go to the data, look it up, Castle, any of them. At best, it's 50% of what it was before the COVID war when it launched in China on Chinese Lunar New Year 2020, the year of the rat. All the businesses that depended on commuters, they're going out of business. All of the office space, the occupancy rates, they're hitting new highs. So now you are an owner of an office building. I'm not going to take 15 floors anymore, somebody says, because I have people working remote, even though they're only coming in 2 days a week. I'm going to save myself money. And I'm the landlord. I own this building and I got to pay my mortgage. Oh, and interest rates went up and you got variable rate mortgage on this? And now you're looking globally. You're looking in Europe at a 46% office occupancy rate. Places like London, 35%. All the businesses that depended on it. I'm telling you, the damage that has been done by the COVID war, not only financially, but spiritually, emotionally, physically. Again, we write it in the magazine. Kids are going out of their minds from what happened with the lockdowns. Drug dealers, crime, one thing after another. So what we're saying is the economic situation is only artificially being covered up by the markets. When the markets go down, then the rest of the people in the economy know how bad it is. Every week we do the unemployment numbers, the people leaving jobs. One company after another, firing. Goldman Sachs just fired how many? Amazon just let go of how many? This one let go of how many? When did you ever see this? Day after day after day after day after day. Oh, and then the new numbers came out. Oh, they weren't that bad. We had Oh, yeah, you mean the jobs that the people were taking, the numbers that went up? People were taking second jobs and third jobs that pay very low wages because 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And when Wall Street goes down, then it becomes the reality. That the reality on the street doesn't count. It's only when Wall Street goes down. Oh, it's like a football player got a heart attack. Well, my mother died of a heart attack. Nobody cared. Oh, but that was a football player. You see what I'm telling you? They ramp it up. They only make important things what they think is important to keep the people's mind on it. So as long as the equity markets stay high, the people look. You're in New York. According to some of the data coming out, the average rents in New York City range between $4,000 and $5,000 a month. And again, that's the data that they put out there that I'm repeating. And then what you look at the median household income, what is it, 60 something, $70,000? So you're going to see a big crash, car sales going down, one thing after another. Look at all the stores closing down. It's in front of everybody's eyes. The layoffs. Again, it was artificially propped up by the bankster bandits and the government. Again, for me, I have real estate and gold, and there are going to still be real estate opportunities. And gold, again, gold to me is my first buy of gold, by the way, was at $187.50 an ounce back in the late 1970s. That's when I started becoming a trend forecaster. The Iran war was breaking out, the overthrow of the Shah. And again, just like they taught us to hate Russia, they taught us to hate Iran. The average person didn't know about the United States overthrow the democratically elected government of Mossadegh in 1953 because he wanted to nationalize the Iranian oil. And anyway, and the CIA and the MI6 overthrow, and Standard Oil and today BP, Anglo-Iranian Oil, took over again. Anglo-Iranian, that's what they called it. Anyway, that was BP, became BP. So I said to myself, as everybody's hating all this, what will be the implication? And I started playing the futures markets, and I started betting on gold and oil futures because I knew this thing was going to happen, and they weren't going to defeat the people taking to the streets because millions and millions were taking to the streets. And that's how I became a trend forecaster. I started looking at things for the way they are, not the way I wanted them to be or what the government told me they were. And I feel the same thing right now, that we're in that same position, gold and oil, because there's war breaking out. This is a real war. It's not a proxy war, by the way. America is at war.
Right.
If I said to you, hey, listen, Michelle, give me a gun and a grenade. I want to go blow this guy's brains out. And you gave me the guns and the grenade and I blew his brains out. You're an accessory to the crime.